Haydn's 49th Symphony, La Passione, is a roller coaster ride of emotions and also something of a puzzle because it's two different things at once. It's composed in a style that was already antique by 1768 called Sonata di Chiesa, that is music to be played in church. Sonata di Chiesa is typically 4 movements on a very serious topic, only one key throughout, no fancy changing of keys, and always in the pattern of movements slow, fast, slow, fast. And this is in keeping perhaps with the title, La Passione, presumably referring to the Passion of Christ, to the suffering of Jesus leading up to his crucifixion. However, that title was given to the work not by Haydn, but by an anonymous promoter who was bringing people in for a performance in a church during Holy Week decades later. At the same time, this work was part of a really rather edgy movement in new music in the 1760s known as Sturm und Drang. Sturm und Drang is known mainly as a literary movement of which Goethe was a proponent early in his career. It's a reaction against the Enlightenment establishment. It was especially against French classicism with its high ideals and its good morals at the end of every work. Sturm und Drang is about the individual experience and how people are complicated and have actually violent emotions in their lives. In music, Sturm und Drang means typically a piece in the minor mode, darkly colored, music with extremes of fast and slow, extremes of loud and soft right against each other, like emotions changing so fast. Haydn is thought to have composed a handful of his works in this style, in this Sturm und Drang style around this time. And in fact, there's some controversy as to the title of this piece. La Passione was given by somebody else. There's another theory that this work had a different title, which was The Good-Humored Quaker, that it was actually composed as stage music for a play of that title that had been written just a few years earlier. In that case, it would be probably a satirical work about this religious figure in this comedy. It's up to the listener. Is this satirical, or is this a serious piece about suffering, about theology? Personally, to me, the piece has a lot more in common with the 7 Last Words of Christ on the Cross, another work for string quartet or string orchestra by Haydn. This piece rings very sincere to me, but as a listener, you can decide. You can take it as a comedy or as a tragedy.